Hello, English learners. Welcome back to the English with Michael YouTube channel. Michael is me, and we are going to have a look at some advice today. So, I had a question on how you can improve your conversation skills. Many people ask me this, and I think it's a good question. There's some obvious answers and some less obvious answers. So, let's get into it. Of course, speaking is one of the, if not the most important part of learning English. And improving your speaking and conversation is not an easy thing to do. And it's important to realize it does take time. It will not improve overnight. But here's my advice. 3 big pieces of advice and some bonus tips as well, as I usually do. First of all, really obvious. You know what I'm going to say. Have conversations. I'll start with the easiest one first. I know some people will try everything under the sun to improve their English, but always neglect this one. It's obvious, but people kind of don't do it. And I used to do this myself in language learning because it's the scariest one. So I find people tend to put it off or try to kind of tell themselves, no, I don't really need to do this. But you really do, unfortunately. So find someone who you can talk with on a regular basis. They don't have to be a native speaker. You could find an online teacher like me or another one on italki. I'll put a link in the description of this video to italki. Or if you want to go the free way, find an online language partner. And with these online language partners, you can practice English while also sharing knowledge of your own language. I made a separate video about how to find an online speaking partner. So I'm going to put that in the link below or put it maybe up here in this corner. So check that out and let me know what you think. There's no secret to improving, really. It takes patience, work, and some time. You will improve over time, but don't lose hope. Do not lose hope. Keep that motivation strong. Advice number 2 is talk to yourself. Become a crazy person. Join the crazy gang. Talk to yourself. I always find it really hard to get into the habit of doing this, but it is a really good thing to do. I noticed I was doing it much more when I was in Japan, learning Japanese, immersed in the language. It's quite easy to do in that case, but it's much harder when you're not in the country. So you're not in the UK, for example. But yeah, try to get in the habit of talking to yourself in your head in English, whenever possible. And whenever possible, do it out loud. That's even better. This will help you kind of consolidate what you've learnt, and you'll be able to use the grammar and practice your pronunciation. It is surprisingly a very useful thing to do. So for example, you're washing the dishes and you're kind of saying in English, okay, so I'm going to wash this pan, I'm going to scrub the bottom, I'm going to add more soap, all of this kind of stuff. You're just narrating your life in English. It can be quite fun, I think. Imagine that you have a YouTube channel like this and you're filming what you're doing to people. As I said, I find it quite difficult to do myself. So what I actually prefer is to send audio messages. So I have a language partner, and with my language partner, I send audio messages. And it can just be very simple things like, right now I'm walking to the shop, I'm going to buy this and this. And maybe they don't care, but they can also do the same to me in their target language. And it's a really great way to practice, but also you're not talking to yourself. You actually do have someone to convey information to. And it's a nice way to practice without people thinking you're like a crazy person on the street. Okay, tip number 3 is to listen and read. Very, very underrated skills, and it's just a fantastic way to learn vocabulary, especially reading. You learn a lot of vocabulary, you see the grammar in use, very useful. I recommend starting a daily reading practice a little bit every day, and it really helps you so much when it comes to conversations. Of course, listening is the other great thing you can do. Of course, listening is 50% of any conversation, and this is something that you can be doing anytime in your day. Listen to podcasts. I recommend the Level Up English podcast, which is mine. TV series, anything that interests you. And pay special attention to the collocations and expressions that the speaker is using. Also try to listen to the pronunciation and mimic the way that they're talking. This is known as shadowing. And shadowing is a great exercise where you can repeat what you hear out loud. So rather than just saying things yourself, you say it just like how I say it. So you'll notice that I'm going really kind of high with my pitch and then quite low sometimes, depending on what I want to say. So try to copy what I'm saying and change the pitch in your voice. Maybe even copy my mouth position as well. Okay, a few other bonus tips here. One of them I think is quite fun, maybe a bit frustrating, is talking to Siri or Alexa. Now, how many of you have I just set off your phone or Alexa right now? So you can change your settings to English and say, instead of saying in your native language, you can say like, hey Siri, please help me with this thing. I'll give you a second to turn off your phone now that Siri is talking to you. But it's a really good way to just get a little bit of speaking practice in. And if Siri can understand you, then that must mean you're doing a good job. Another one is recording yourself talking in English. I'm actually thinking about doing this on Instagram. I'm thinking about starting an Instagram where I'm just doing daily 1-minute talks in Japanese. It's a good way to kind of hold myself accountable, and just people are kind of expecting me to do that daily video. So I'm thinking that might be a good idea. Another tip is do not focus too much on grammar. Now, if you're kind of really focused on the grammar, this will cause you to overthink what you say, and it will slow down your speaking speed. When I talk in English, for example, I do not think about grammar, and that is why I can talk quite quickly. Of course, it's a bit different. I'm a native speaker, but that really is the goal. If you can talk without caring about grammar, you will be able to speak so much more quickly. And maybe you'll make a couple mistakes, but it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. That's my best advice. I could do a part 2 to this video because I have a lot more advice. So let me know if you found what I said useful and if you want more. Also, if you have any more ideas, let me know in the comments because I'm sure other learners will be happy to learn from you as well. Thank you for watching. It's great to hang out with you again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.